Hey guys, so today we'll be talking about how a civilization can collapse and how we can prevent the collapse of any civilizations. So, first we'll be talking about natural disasters. So, what do you see in this video here? I'm playing this video. In this video, you see a car going through. It's getting hit by a lot of things. And at one point, you see the car stops. Why does it stop? And what is in front of the glass? You see, there is a twister. Twisters are like tornadoes. They spin around in very quick speed and damage anything around it and sometimes take kills humans and damages property of others. So let's say we're in a very old and ancient civilization like the Indus Valley. So in the Indus Valley, the houses are 2 story high and made of mud. What if a tornado came in there? Since the houses are made of mud, nothing will last and everyone will get killed. But the thing is, do we live in the Indus Valley civilization? No, we don't. It's 2020. We have concrete, our houses are bigger, stronger, and they're more durable. Even some of our houses have basements. And basements are good for tornadoes since tornadoes only hit things high in the air and sometimes low to the ground. But if you go underground, the tornado won't have much effect on you. So that's one way to dodge a tornado. So the next way a civilization can collapse is war. So let's talk about World War II. It was a big war. So let's talk about one country like Albania. It was a very, let's say, a very undeveloped country. So when it went to war against Italy, it had no chance. So how did Albania collapse and got taken over by Italy? The reason was war. It was taken over by tanks while they were trying to fight with bow and arrows. But war isn't a big problem if you guys can team up, protest against the government for no war. Let's say, for example, talk about the Vietnam America War. In the 70s, during the war, America was in a very bad losing battle. They were bleeding, they were guaranteed to lose, their citizens were protesting to get out of the war and forfeit. What did America do? They forfeited because of the pressure from Vietnam and the protests from their citizens to back out of the war. So, the next reason is climate change. Climate change is a very big problem which is affecting the world of today. So let's say, for example, take an ancient civilization like the Indus Valley. The reason of their collapse was that the Saraswati River, one of the rivers they were guaranteed to need for their life, was for climate change was moving away, which is the reason they were not getting enough water from the Saraswati River. Also, the Indus River had the same problem. But climate change won't be a big problem if we know what to do. So let's talk about pollution, which is also a reason for climate change. So let's talk about the air pollution. During air pollution, the bad gases go up to the ozone layer, which makes the ozone layer thicker, which means it traps more heat, making Earth warm up harder, which makes the ice caps melt, which is a reason oceans are improving. Also, a lot of coral plants are dying for it. So that means we need to lessen our use of non-renewable energy and use renewable energy like the solar lights. Then we can have the water, which we can transmit into energy, then air, etc. So now we'll be talking about famine. So famine is a thing when in a period of time there is very, very less food and everyone has to starve and eat very less food. This means the majority of the population will be starving, which can lead to deaths, even sometimes cannibalism. But to stop the collapse of a civilization for a famine, we need to be responsible. The first thing we need to do is save food. We should not waste food and take too much food at a time. We should take a little food at a time, eat it, and if we need more, we will take it. Then we can also save our animals and take as much as milk, let's say milk from cows, as we can before it cannot produce milk, and then we should take the beef, like slaughtering it. So the next way a civilization can collapse is a new disease. So, for example, let's take the Aztec civilization. The reason they collapsed was smallpox, which was a very big plague which was later cured for vaccination. Now, another example would be the coronavirus. What if it was as deadly as smallpox or the Black Plague? What would have happened to China? Now, the way we can stop a collapse from a new epidemic disease is that we need to do years of R&D, which means years of research and development, so we can stop a epidemic disease or spot a new epidemic disease. So, another way a civilization can collapse is economic failure. Let's say, for example, in the 1930s, when Germany was in debt, that time they started printing out crazy money. So the German currency at that time value dropped very low, which means, let's say, before that, a loaf of bread cost, let's say, 5 German currencies. But after the printing of the money, let's say it costed 10,000 of them. So, as a result, Germany's economy collapsed. Then, not everyone was very sad and depressed. And that time, Nazism came to power, and Adolf Hitler, oh boy, I'm sure you know Adolf Hitler, he came to power of Germany. Responsible economic planning is guaranteed to be needed to stop economic crisis. So, the last point I will be talking about is overpopulation. It is a very big problem for the modern world. So, let's talk about the normal population. What do the people of any country cause? They cause crimes, they cause more pollution, and if the country is overpopulated, more people mean more food eaten, which means a higher chance of the country getting into a famine. Now, the way we can stop overpopulation is convincing the population not to have too many children so they can manage their house and the country will have a controlled and balanced population. So that's it for today, guys. Bye.